Hi everyone, it's Donna from Little Spaceman Papercrafts. Today I have a tutorial for you that my friend Gareth from G's Creations has asked me to do for you. I sent him a few little prezzies that I made, and one of them was a desktop calendar. And I'm so pleased that he really liked all the presents that I sent. I love making things for people, but he asked, and a few other people have asked, for a tutorial on how to make it. Here's a different sort of version that I've made. This one's quite girly, and this one's got 4 drawers in it. It's got 2 at the front, one on that side and one on that side. So that's just another variation of it. I can't actually take credit at all for this design. I found it on YouTube. A lady called the Crafty Spark has done these tutorials that I'm showing you now. The one that I did for Gareth, I stamped and created my own backing paper. For the purposes of this video, to make it a bit shorter, I'm actually using pre-printed cards, so it's got a design on it already. So that just saves us a little bit of time. But once you've got the basics down of this design, you know, you can pretty much do anything you want, really. I am going to skim over a lot because it does take a while to make one. A long story short, this one took me quite a while to do. So I am going to be cutting it quite short today, just to give you the basics, and then you can, you know, run away with your own designs, really. What you're going to need is, cardstock wise, you're going to need 2 pieces of 6x4 cardstock, or your own backing papers, or whatever it is that you want to use. Then you need, I don't know if you can see, I've actually written the measurements on there. You need a piece of, 1 piece of 6x8 cardstock. Then you need a piece of 8 1/8 by 7 7/8. And then the largest piece is 7.5 by 10.5. Okay, and this is the piece we're going to work on first. This is going to be the drawer. So let me move all the other pieces out of the way for a second. Right, so I'm going to bring in my score tool without knocking everything over. I'm not even sure you can see that. Right, I'm actually having to rest this on my... Try and move that up a little bit. There we go, we should be able to see it there a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have this on the long side, the 10.5-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, 2.5. Then you're going to go right over to 8. Then you're going to do 9 and 10. Okay, and then you're going to rotate the cardstock, and then you're going to score at 1, at 2, then at 5.5, and 6.5. Now, this might look a bit odd, but what we're doing here is reinforcing the drawer to make it extra thick, really. So we're just basically going to fold and burnish all the score lines. And then once we've done that, we'll do some cutting and build up the drawers. When you're making this, I recommend that you use a wet glue, because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. That's not very good there. Which comes in very handy when you're putting things like this together. Okay, so now we've got that folded and burnished, we are going to do the cutting. Okay, so if I show you on this corner here, you're going to cut up, excuse me, that's my phone, to the second score line, and then do that on, we'll do it this way around, so we'll do one thing at a time. So do that, turn around the opposite side and do exactly the same thing along that score line. Okay, and then what you're going to do is we need to take off, if you can see that little square, so we need that one, and those two at the bottom, so we need to completely remove those. Okay. So it gives us this sort of shape. So we're going to do that with all of those. This is really good, really. If you don't have cardstock that is really sort of an exceptional sort of quality, like this one's not brilliant, but when you reinforce it, it gives it two layers. So what we do is we build the base of the box and then we fold over the top. So I will show you how to do that now. What I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to notch a little bit out of here. Okay. So now what you need to do is get your wet glue. I'm just using some Cosmic Shimmer. It dries quite quick, and it is quite good for doing boxes. So we're just going to do this on all our tabs. Okay, so then we're just going to fold up and make basic box shape, and the edges nice and neatly together. Now I am just doing this really quite quickly. I just want you to get the basic idea, and I'd really love to see what you all come up with. I'm excited to see all the designs and just to see what everyone comes up with. It's going to be fab. Okay, so just slide these back. So what we're going to do is we're going to do on these sides, on the ends, if you actually fold that one back, and you'll see why in a minute. So we're just going to pop some glue here and fold that in. And then you want to use your bone folder to just get right in the corners. I'm not quite sure if you can see that. And just push it right into the corner. And then we're going to do the same on this side. And we're just going to fold that over. And again, pop our bone folder in. Give that a good press down. Okay, and the ends are going to fold in this way, and as they push in, this bit's going to be flat here. Okay. So we need glue and all of that. Again, pop your stone folder in to really push in those corners. It just helps with the rigidity of the box then. Okay, so oops. Do that last side. I really have to apologise for the state of my craft mat. I've been painting today, all sorts, and I can't get all the paint off, so I think I'm going to have to invest in a new craft mat. Maybe just keep this one for painting. Okay, so there's your drawer. Now at this point, what you could do is pop a brad in there for your drawer pull. So all you would need to do for that, I actually don't have a brad to hand, which is a bit silly of me, but you would just basically make a hole there or wherever you wanted your drawer pull, and then pop your brad in. And then what I would do is, if you've got some tweezers, hold the brad a little bit away from the fold of the drawer, and then fold down your brad so you've got that little bit there with your finger that you can pull. I'm not quite sure, you'll probably be able to see it on this. See, if you look here, you do have a little bit, a little gap there that you can get your fingers in, or your fingernails in, and pull. Okay, so that's what you would do with that. So that's the drawer done. Now the next thing we're going to make is the wrap for the drawer. So we need our piece of 7 7/8 by 8 1/8, which is the next largest size. Bring back in the scoreboard without knocking the tripod on it. There we go. Bring that back in again. And this time we're going to score. So we're going to score on the 7 7/8 side, the shortest side, and we're going to score at 1 1/8, and then we're going to score at 6 3/4. There we go. Then we're going to rotate that, and we're going to score at 3 1/2. So I'm just trying to read my notes here. I can't even read my own writing. That's shocking. And then we're going to score again at 4 5/8. Yeah, 4 5/8. Oh my goodness, I'm all a fluster. Okay, so again, we're just going to fold, and we're going to burnish all the score lines. Actually quite focused on the time. I'm sorry if I'm dragging this out. The whole plan was to do it quickly for you, to give you an idea of the measurements and the method to put it together. I'll try and speed through. Okay, so we're going to cut up these tabs, and we're just going to notch in slightly. I want to actually say a massive thank you to Gareth, because he popped his Happy Mail video up on his page, which I will of course link, but you will probably know Gareth anyway. I think you all found me through Gareth. Oops, but I'll pop a link to his channel at the bottom. But yeah, because he shared that video, I've actually had a few more subscribers, so welcome everybody. I'm really happy to have you here. I hope you stick around. It'd be lovely. Okay, so now we're going to make our wrap for our drawer. Okay, then you would fold it in as normal. Do that on that side. And tuck it in again. Just fold that back so you can see what I'm doing. Now, as our drawer slides in, we don't want it to catch on the tabs, so we're going to glue these pieces to the inside. Okay, so you would need glue on the outer portion here, and we're going to glue that to the inside of our wrap, and then that way that little tab on the inside is covered. And do the same on this one. As I say, this is really quite strong wet glue. You can use, what other glues are there about? You can use the Collal tacky glue. You can use, I know Gareth uses the art glitter glue, which I believe is quite strong. So there is your drawer, and that way it doesn't pop out the bottom. And then what you could do then is pop some of the matching paper you're using on the side edges. Also, when you're popping your brad through there, you can actually pop a strip in there just to cover the brad, and then that again is that extra little bit of reinforcement. Okay, so that's the drawer and the wrap. Now what we need to do is we need to do the base and we need to do the easel. Okay, so one of our 6x4 pieces is going to be the base. So I think I'm going to use the white one. So, yeah, I think so. Decisions. Okay, we'll go with it on the bottom. Okay, so if you pop your glue on the bottom of your drawer wrap, you could use double-sided tape, but the only problem I found with that is that once it's stuck, it's stuck. So if you decide that, you know, it's not in the right place, you don't get any wiggle room. It's there, it's stuck. Okay, so that is your base. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is score the 6x8 piece, because that's going to make our easel. So let me have a look at my notes again. So we're going to score at along the 8-inch side. We're going to score at 2 and at 4, and this is going to make the easel portion of our card. So again, you would fold and burn it. Okay. So as you can see, this is how it's going to sit. Okay. You could have used this sort of pattern and then maybe use the white again, but we're going to do it this way. Okay, now because you can't really press down on that because it's not very solid, turn your drawer upside down, which was a really good tip that the lady from the Crafty Spark said, which gives you a little bit of something to, you know, something to give you a bit of resistance to press on. So just line that up there, and again with the wet glue you do have a bit of wiggle room. Just check that all the way around. Okay, and then again, if you wanted to line this part with another piece of matching cardstock, you could do that. Yeah, I think I will do that, because then that ties in quite nicely with the base. So I'll just pop that on. And that should fit exactly, because that is the right size for that. Okay, and then on this portion of the easel, we're just going to put glue on the bottom bit, underneath that score line there. Okay, I can just line that up. So let me turn the drawer the right way around. It's going to be a bit difficult because I haven't got a pull on it, but still. And then what you would need then would be to pop something there with a bit of dimension to let's see what I've got to hand. Just pop one of these on, just to give you an idea. See, something, you know, just to hold that easel up. Something like that might be nice, but you'd have to put it on, I don't know, some dimensional tape, foam tape or something, to give it a bit of a... Or you could do like I've done with... What have I done with my sample one? There we go. With this one, where you can put a sentiment on, and this is actually from MayMay's Sweet Stuff stamp set, which is really, really cute. I'll link MayMay's Etsy store as well down at the bottom. Let me just quickly get that stamp set out to show you. Open my folder and show you. Oops. That is there's the Sweet Stuff one at the top there. Great little sentiments. I love this lolly. Brilliant. Okay, after I've knocked the tripod again. Sorry. There we go. So, that is the basis of the easel. You would also, you could back that, you could decorate this side like I've done here with the flowers and the butterflies. Okay, and that is the basis of the desk calendar with the drawer. The drawer is the perfect size for post-its and, let me see, pens. So it is handy to pop on a desk, and it would make a really nice gift. So there you go, that's that. I will mention now a few tutorials I've got coming up. This one is is probably going to be my next tutorial, I think. This is a mini wallet. I've got a lot of older nieces and nephews that I'll be giving gift vouchers to this year, and that's really sweet, and that's made with the envelope punch board. So you can, I'll show you how to do that in the next tutorial. Also, I'm going to show you some techniques for watercolour backgrounds for cards. I don't know if you saw, if you look on the video that Gareth popped up of the Happy Mail, as he calls it, that I sent him, you can see the card, and it is done using inks rather than watercolour paints. So I'll do a tutorial on that as well if anyone's interested. But again, thank you so much for watching, and a massive, massive thanks to all my new subscribers. It really means a lot. I'm just going to go and upload this video now for you. If you do want to find me on Facebook, I really need to start updating the page daily. I'm not very good. I have to start updating it daily. So if you want to find me on Facebook, you can. I'll pop the link down to the bottom there in the info bar, along with the link to Gareth's store and to MayMay's Etsy store as well. Okay, so I'll bring that in again to show you, and thank you again so much for watching. Take care. Bye.